Hey guys, look what I got. That's right, I got the new Eachine D2 Pro FPV Goggles with diversity. I'm going to quit talking, we're going to open up the box, and we're going to see what's going on inside. Alright guys, here's everything that comes inside the box. So you can see there's our headset right there, lots of buttons, we'll get into that a little bit later. Here's our instruction manual. It's not too bad, especially considering how most instruction manuals are these days. Most are absolute crap, so that is a good thing. Here is our charger for our battery, which can be found in this pouch right there. That's our accessories pack, which also includes our antennas, our patch, and circular polarized. And here are our, those mount right there. It's our padding. There's some nose padding as well as padding all around the circumference of your face. So we are going to get into all this stuff in more detail coming up. Alright guys, this is what it looks like all put together. I've got the antennas mounted on there. I also bent them back slightly because most people look down a little bit when they fly FPV. It's just a natural thing. So to compensate for that, made those adjustments. Alright, so I'm going to talk about a couple things real quick. I put this padding on there, and it's somewhat comfortable with that. Also put the nose stuff on there. I don't have a huge snoz, so that's probably not going to make any impact on me either way, but I wanted to put that on there anyhow. I will give you a tip on putting this on there. Put this on first, then put that on there, because I had to pull this back and then slip that under to make that work okay. Alright, so here, right here, we've got a vision adjustment. So you slide it forward or backwards to adjust to your particular vision situation. Fortunately, knock on wood, I still have 20/20 vision, so that's not as much of an issue for me. At least the next part I'm going to talk about, that being glasses. There may or may not be enough room to adapt to glasses if you wear them, so I can't really speak to that very much, but I will say that you do have an option to adjust this depending on what your vision situation is. It's not a huge range, but it's at least something, so that is a good thing. I also want to show you the battery that it comes with. This comes with a 2200 milliamp hour battery. It's kind of a barrel LiPo style. I've never seen anything quite like it with a LiPo. But hey, it looks pretty cool. The other thing, the main thing I want to tell you is that this aftermarket Eachine one that I got from my 007, it works great. It's the same plug, and it fits in the back area here, which I haven't talked about yet, so let's talk about that now. So this battery, or the stock battery, they slide in right there. Make that happen. Alright, and then take this, plug that in there, and there's a little bit of a hesitation before it comes on. There you go. If you look inside there, it tells you the voltage of the battery right down there in red. It also tells you A and B. That signifies the different antennas here with the diversity situation. Now it's not connected to anything, so I'm not sure how it's getting that measurement, but that's where it's at right now. Gonna unplug this because don't want to deplete this battery. This needs to get charged up a bit anyhow. But I wanted to show you that, guys. And I am going to charge this battery, and then I'm going to plug it in, and then we're going to do some testing indoors just to give you an idea of what it looks like through this visor connected to something with FPV. And then I'm going to go outside and I'm going to record some footage, FPV footage, and play that back so you guys get to see that, and then we'll talk about the DVR. As promised, here's a quick look at what this looks like through my Inductrix FPV Pro. Through the goggles, it's the goggles right there. We've got the little quadcopter back there. While we're looking away, this thing, it's got a mount that you can screw into a tripod, or a tripod can screw into the headset here, and you can set it up just as an FPV monitor, or you can do it a variety of ways. Actually, you can hand launch your flying wing, your FPV wing, put your face in there, and then when you want to land, you can pull it out and, you know, land at line of sight. It gives you some flexibility, so that is why I wanted to point that out. And now we are going to take a look at flight footage with my little Blade Inductrix Pro, as well as my FPV car. Alright guys, I really hope you enjoyed that DVR footage, as well as the music I used. Right now I'm going to do a quick little tutorial on how to make the DVR work. It is a little bit counterintuitive, or not intuitive, one way or the other. It's something I wanted to show you because it didn't come naturally to me, I'll say it that way. So what you do, first thing you do is you have your FPV device set up like so, and have this thing on and connected, blah blah blah. So what you do to get it set up is you put the cam DVR output, push that button once, take you into DVR mode. Alright, so then you've got the timer down there at the bottom that tells you how much time you have left on your SD card. And you put your SD card right up in here. Make sure to use that diagram, because if you do it backwards, it is going to fall into this box and you're going to have to open it up. Now, you may or may not have noticed that I've got a little bit of stuff on the screen in there. Well, when I took it apart, I got some extra crap in there. I wasn't careful and worried about keeping it clean, or at least wasn't thinking about it, so keep that in mind, guys. Just put it in, the SD card in correctly. You won't have to worry about that. So, next step, after pushing this button right there, is you simply push the up button, bang, and that will start recording, and you'll see how long you've recorded there. Nice, simple, straightforward. And then to get out of this mode so you can actually do FPV action without having an issue, you go back, push that button one more time, and then you're into real-time FPV. You won't experience lag, missing frames, things like that. That can be a problem, especially with FPV flight. You're more likely to crash than have fun if you do that, so make sure to switch out of that. It will continue to record in the background. It's just going into a different mode. So let's switch back to that other mode. Okay, take you back there, still recording, right? All right, so to stop it recording, you hit the plus button again. Bang, hit that. It has stopped recording, and you've recorded the footage that you just did right there. All right, so to get it out, go bam. There we are, switching back to our deal. Now, one other key thing I want to show you, and that is we've got some different modes here, and to get there, I'll explain it more in a minute. Push the menu button, pulls up the menu. Okay, if you look down here at the bottom, it says NTSC. Now that is important because you can either be in that mode or the PAL mode. It defaults into PAL mode, and if you plan on using stuff like this, you've got to switch it into the different modes. So you do that with a menu. So push the menu button again. It's a lot of pushing around to actually find where it's at. This menu, it can do a ton of stuff, but it's not exactly as intuitive as you would like it to be. And it also disappears pretty quick on you. So let's see if I can make that work. All right, so there we go. So I push the menu button again, and then to toggle between. There we go. There we go. Alright, so that's what happens when you start it in the PAL mode. This is not compatible with that. However, my FPV car is, and I'm going to show you that right now. Alright guys, this is the Eachine RatingKing. This is something that I reviewed a little while ago on my channel, about a month or two ago maybe. And it's really cool. I've had so much fun with it off camera. Now when I got it and reviewed it, I didn't have a DVR, which is part of the reason that I got this. Now, this is set on a different FPV channel than my Inductrix Pro. As you can see by the stuff in the background that it's actually quite close. So, what we want to do, and this is a really cool feature, two things with this actually. One, we hit the scan button and it'll cycle through. It'll go past it, but then it'll find it. So give it a second here. Just going through all the possible channels, trying to find the absolute best channel possible. Now, the second thing that I was going to tell you is, there it is, boom, right there. And this camera is fantastic on this thing. Now you could tell in the FPV footage that I shot, there was a little bit of vibration going on, so it wasn't quite as clear. Also, it was pretty close to sunset when I did that. I haven't had much time lately. I've been working crazy long hours, so this camera is even better than it showed in that footage. I also was driving on some pretty rough ground. The parking area near my apartment is a little bit rough, but the point I was going to get to was that unlike a Fatshark with diversity and things of that nature, this thing, I'll unplug it. In fact, I'll do a demo on this right now. Unplug it, let it, get all the energy out of there. I plug it back in, it will save its spot. It will remember and hopefully it doesn't call me a liar. But so, yep, see? It'll save its spot. And not only that, you've got the awesome on-screen display coming from the RatingKing right there. It tells you how long the thing has been plugged in. Tells you your voltage. It's got a really nice OSD. So that combined with your diversity stuff, there's a lot of good feedback. Also tells you the channel that it's on. With the OSD on this Eachine RatingKing. And I'm going to have a link in the description to this because it is a really cool thing. It's much quicker than you think it would be. It does a little bit better in the off-road than you think it would be. It's not like a JLB Cheetah or anything like that because it doesn't have the power nor the large tires. But for what it is, having a brushed motor, it is pretty damn awesome, guys. All right, so I'm going to come back here shortly and do my final review notes, my pros and cons, and let you know exactly what I think of this headset right here. Alright guys, I'm going to try and wrap this thing up quickly with the quick pros and cons. Let's start with the pro. It has a DVR. That is a big pro, especially for something at this price point. I'm happy that the DVR even works. But it gets better. So the quality is definitely comparable to my Dominator 3's DVR. And that one I'm actually pretty happy with. So that is a very good thing. And that's a big compliment I'm paying to this thing because that for this price point to have a DVR like that, that's incredible. Alright, so the range is definitely good for what these are. It doesn't compete with the Fatshark with true diversity, with some really nice antennas. It just doesn't compare. But for what it is at this price point, it is very good. This is a really good beginner setup, guys. I am very impressed, like I said, for what it is. And I'll say that a lot because price is definitely a key thing with something like this. Now, are you going to pay $300, $400, $500 for something like goggles when you're a beginner? No, that's kind of silly. Not unless you have a ton of money. So you want to get a feel for if FPV is for you. For the longest time, I wasn't sure if it was. But with some other goggles, a little bit cheaper goggles I got with an FPV kit, my 007s, as you saw in my Assassin 180 video way back in the day if you're a long-time subscriber. I kind of got a feel for those, or for FPV flying with those, kind of caught the bug a little bit, and it's only been crazier and crazier since then. So kind of like I was with RC planes with the Champ and my P51 back in the day, but I digress. Alright, so it can be mounted on a tripod. I know I already talked about that, but that is definitely a pro. The headset is cool because it goes over your head and you can adjust it. This thing is adjustable with the Velcro, right? So you can adjust it to whatever kind of melon you've got. So unless you've got an extremely small head or extremely large head, and this is also very stretchy too, you should be able to find a fit that works for you with these. So that is good. The lens is adjustable, so you can fade in or out. You can make it a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Immersive, that's the word. Make it a little more immersive if you pull it back. Push it forward, it's a little more cinematic like my Dominator 3's. And, you know, you can also adjust for your vision too, to help dial in the focus. So you've got some adjustment opportunity there. Obviously the price is fantastic. And this really is, I already alluded to it, but this really is a great entry-level goggle for someone that doesn't want to go with the absolute cheapest option. The range is good with the diversity, and the owner's manual itself can help you work through some of the things about this that make it less intuitive. It is still a con. In fact, I will get to the cons right now. Obviously, while it has a good quality DVR, the whole user interface is less intuitive than you'd like, especially for beginner goggles, so that's a downside. But the owner's manual, if you really look through it thoroughly, you can figure it out, and that's what I had to do because it really wasn't intuitive like my Fatsharks were. Alright, so it also feels a little bit cheaper, as you'd expect with something at this price point, but the quality is good as far as the display and as well as the reception with the diversity. So with that, I'm going to wrap this thing up. Like, comment, and subscribe. And GB Linden out.